Subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon for the latest film interviews, features, and recommendations on the movies that matter.
Anjum Sharma, it's good to see you, Anjum. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Rajeev. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Anjum, we've been talking about this for weeks now. We've been saying we're going to do this, we're going to do this. I'm finally glad that we're finally sitting down to do this.
Yeah.
You know, Anjum, 2020 for you will be the year that people discovered Sharad Shukla. I mean, he was such a minor character in the first season of Mirzapur that you actually had to wait 2 whole years to get your moment in the sun, didn't you?
Yeah. First of all, I really need to thank you for for making this chat happen. When I also because I've been a big follower of all your chats and interviews, especially the round tables. Every year we wait, कि जब तक साल खत्म नहीं होता, जब तक round table आनी जाती है.
Thank you.
So really looking forward and so happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, coming back to your question, Sharad Shukla's wait has been, eternal. It was like, and it's very rare, in the sense that normally what happens is you do something and you wait for that film or that thing to come out and people
Correct.
to see it. Even as a newcomer, you have expectations. You do that role to the best of your abilities and you just wait to see what is going to happen. But with this, also with the format, you have just been introduced. And also when we shot the first season, the whole format, the whole digital content, this whole thing was very new.
True.
So nobody knew. Like even there's a big there's a joke between all of us, all the actors. Like when Kulji was shooting his first season, and when the season really became so big and all that, he called up one day Gurmeet, the director, and he said कि भाई इधर घर पे आओ, मुझे तुमसे बात करनी है, मुझे पूछना है, मुझे बहुत लोगों के फोन आ रहे हैं और यहाँ वहां से फोन आ रहे हैं, इतने सालों से लोगों से बात नहीं हुई है, उनके फोन आ रहे हैं, ये क्या हुआ है, ये क्या क्या कहाँ पे आया, क्या हुआ, so nobody actually would fathom that what has happened. And he used to ask also while we were shooting it कि ये कहाँ आएगा, फिल्म तो नहीं है, टीवी पे आएगा, नहीं ये सीरीज है, ये डिजिटल कंटेंट है, ऐसा वैसा. He was like पता नहीं क्या है, कर लेते हैं. So
this is Kulbhushan Kharbanda.
Yeah, Kulbhushan Kharbanda. So again, so we shot it, and that time I just did it because I knew that a couple of my friends were also working in the show, like Rasika, and I knew from them that the content of the show is really good and it's a good script, and I really was wanting to work with all these people, makers, and I auditioned for a couple of other roles also, which didn't happen. And then because I had worked with Guru earlier, so he said. He offered me this role and I kind of got hold on to it, and then I shot it and it was over. And then
but did you know when you said yes to season 1, was that an investment? Did you know that this would work out, that there would be more to do in the later seasons, or were you just saying yes to that season?
So it was that was not my reason to to say yes to that part, because obviously there was a conversation which we had that there is a possibility that this character would really flesh out more in the second season, but it was only an idea. We didn't have anything concrete, keep what he will do, what exactly the arc is going to be. Nothing was clear. And so that was kind of a thing which was hanging in the air ki, yeah, probably there is a possibility it will become something, but I don't know what, and nobody knew.
Right.
So at that point of time, it was only because of the director, because of Guru. I had worked with him earlier, and there's an equation which we share. Plus I knew that, as I said, the content was really nice, and as an actor I always the kind of choices I've made, I always wanted to associate with good content.
Correct.
So those were the two reasons why I actually took up that thing. And then we shot it and it was over. And after a year, I think, since we had shot it, the season came out and it was a huge success and all that. But for me, it was I was happy, but it was so frustrating. Everybody is asking me, "Aap kya karne wale hain? Ab Sharad kya karega?" It went on for 2 years. Can you believe it? It sounds good and interesting also, but the other aspect of it is that I started talking to these people and I told them, I don't know, please मुझसे ये मत पूछिए मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ, मैं अभी तक ठीक से पैदा भी नहीं हुआ हूँ. Let me just come and I don't know what is going to happen, but I think that was the power of that that positioning of that character, which made
Yeah.
you, it was a big promise the show did right at the end for this character.
Of course, you know, that shot when he's shaving his head, you know that this is going to be someone who we're going to see more of as the show progresses.
And
But
that shot was not supposed to come there. It was a
uh-huh.
scene which came, I think, an episode before the last episode, and there
Okay.
was another scene which was kind of a last scene of that character in season one. But
Uh-huh.
on the edit, the entire structure changed, and there was a lot of conversation back and forth, which happened to actually decide, ki, do we go this way? It's like a
Correct.
Marvel thing. Do we do this? Do we give them that thing that this is what you need to look out for? So
Correct.
a lot of back and forth happened, and then they decided that this is the promise which they will do for
Mhm.
this character.
You know, Sharad Shukla, of course, is the son of Rati Shankar Shukla, and he, of course, in season 2 aligns himself with Munna Tripathi to avenge the death of his father. Um, you know, he's such an interesting character, Anjum Sharad, because unlike Munna or Guddu for that matter, he's not hot-headed, he's not impulsive. He's someone who really plans out his approach.
Yeah.
He holds his cards close to his chest. He's really a planner. Also, he's a reluctant gangster because, as we know, he wasn't someone who wanted to join in the family business, so to speak. I mean, he was all happy kind of going abroad and studying and, you know, making a life for himself there. It's after his father was killed that he sort of decided to avenge his death. What did you like about this guy? What made him interesting for you to play?
So there were quite a few things, and most of the things I personally, and then in the company of the director and the writer, Puneet, we kind of made few choices for the character. One, we had to portray him very differently,
Hmm.
and but that was very challenging also. So to answer your question, what was the most interesting thing? It was the vulnerability. It was the human element which this guy will have. Like he should look at all point of time very different from from rest of the characters, and he
Correct.
probably would be he would be the just the ray of hope, that one guy who doesn't want to be a part of this world. Everybody else like Guddu and Munna, they all are power hungry. Somebody wants
Correct.
something, kisi ko kuch chahiye, but he doesn't want anything. And what if somebody who doesn't belong to this world of Mirzapur has to come into this world, and what is going to happen to them? So I think that aspect was really interesting, and very interestingly, it was a very challenging thing until the release. I didn't know ki the choice which I have taken, is going to fall correctly or not. That
Mhm.
was, Sharad Shukla is a character which goes, his power equation is the most uh, is the most strong
Mhm.
as compared to any character. He is actually going winning in all his scenes,
Mhm.
be it Maurya, be it even
Correct.
with Akandanand and Munna and everybody. He's kind of manipulating and he's doing what he has to do.
Mhm.
So the only choice which I took was, I will not going to make him look intimidating, because it was very easy.
Right.
I'm going to make him look very jittery, and he's actually figuring it out while he's into that conversation. Even with
Correct.
Munna, where the Shok Sabha scene, he's actually letting him speak, giving him a chance to, okay, you just blurt out whatever you had to say. Aap
Yeah.
bol lo apna jo bhi aapko bolna hai, and I'm buying time and strategizing what I need to do.
Correct.
And the
You
moment
can
he's
almost see the wheels move while every time he's in the scene through his eyes. You can almost see that this man is constantly thinking of the next move. Yeah.
yeah. So all those, so that thing, that was the most interesting and the most challenging choice that we took, that we're going to make it very vulnerable, very human. And somebody, the only strength he has is he's more intelligent and maybe probably more patient than rest of the
Yeah.
other characters. So that would be his strength. uh, he might not want to kill somebody, or he might not want to do something only to get some fun out of it.
Mm.
If he's doing something, if he's going for something, it is going to be a strategy.
Mm.
There is going to be a lot of objectivity in what he does, and he will take time in responding. I think
Right.
these three things were the key factors what we kind of thought and kept going in every scene we shot.
You know, you said something interesting. You said that he wasn't driven by power. The others were actually power hungry, which is true. I want to ask you, at the end of season 2, and I'm trying to Listen, I'm not trying to get spoilers, but I want to understand from your understanding of this character. Now at the end of season 2, where we find him, is he still driven by revenge, or has he been seduced by the power, and now does he want to be the king of Mirzapur?
Or
Is the
maybe,
driving force still revenge?
see, exactly, I would, unless and until I see something and I get something to read, I won't be able to, say it very explicitly. But
Correct.
what would be interesting is that, uh, I don't know. Definitely, he would like to go, because the revenge thing was very, very important and very
Yeah.
interesting in his character. So that thread will always be there, because otherwise it might look like a very immediate shift from his ultimate goal. But apart from that, I think there's going to be a lot of speculation, lot of kind of think, what am I doing, why am I really want to, and I really want to play to that thing ki, yaar, I need to be, because season 2 went on in strategizing and
Yeah.
going to the gaddi and manipulating Munna, Khanda and everything, and also securing your own survival. So all those things kind of was majorly what I was playing out. Probably in season 3 it will be ki, yaar, I never wanted to be in this place, and
Correct.
now I'm in the most powerful position.
Correct.
And especially if at all there is an equation, like, the most two powerful characters in season 3, they're going to be together,
Right.
if we speculate
Correct.
that.
Correct.
So it is a position of lot of power. But somebody like Sharad, will he be happy with that power, or will he be ki, yaar, I'm going deeper into it, I am getting more strong, I am getting more powerful, but this is not what I wanted, but I have to do it, and there are other things which I need to do it, and now there's no looking back. So I think it's going to get more layered from here.
Correct. Correct. I want to continue what you said, and this is a spoiler. So anyone, if you're living under a rock, if you still haven't seen Mirzapur season 2, now switch off, because we're going to discuss something. Sharad's big move at the end of Mirzapur 2, of course, is to rescue Akhanda from Guddu and Golu, when he was, of course, after he's been shot and he was bleeding. We already know that Akhanda has come to respect Sharad's calm approach. So we know that we're going to see that relationship take some shape. Um, Again, without giving away what you probably discussed with the writer, with Puneet and with Gurmeet, um, does he become to Akhanda the son that Akhanda always wanted Munna to be?
uh, e- I I think, yeah. I mean, probably also because these people are very layered, and they're not only following one emotion. Yeah. So, if I mean, even with Akhanda, though he was very, very much attached to his son, and he was very emotional, but throughout the season, both the seasons, he also knew that, maybe my son doesn't have that.
Right.
Even in a couple of scenes, he spoke to his father, जब वो बोलता है कि कईयों को, कुछ लोग बाहुबली पैदा होते हैं, कुछ को बनाना पड़ता है, इनको बनाएंगे. So
Correct.
there is a sense of, he's also very realistic and very understanding and very practical. So maybe for some time, yeah, there will be an equation that probably, and that's also I mean, story does push you in that area, that
Yeah.
now in season 3, there might be an equation that Akhanda will think that he's the son I wanted, and probably Sharad will think that, yeah, this is the equation which I wanted with my father. The conflict which I had with him, probably this is a better equation.
Correct.
But I don't know if it's gonna go all through. I don't know about that.
Right.
But yeah, to start off with, there could be an interesting equation there.
When do you all get into season 3?
Right now, I mean, I've not heard anything about it. I know that they have started writing, and they're really very much into it. But also, all the core team is also busy with other projects right now.
Right.
Guru is working on his next film.
Correct.
Puneet is also working on some things. Everybody, we all kind of, and also I think it was very much needed. There's so much of investment, so much, I can't tell you, so much of thing. I mean, it might sound little pompous, but it has been like everything, whatever we have just given it to Mirzapur. So I think this gap is very much needed to come back again with a lot of energy and a lot of investment
Correct.
again. So I think it's going to be little a while, maybe sometime mid this year. I think we might get to see something. कि what they have written and all that. But yeah, अभी थोड़ा time तो है वैसे.
Anjum, how has Mirzapur changed your life, if it has?
Uh, See, yeah, there is a certain amount of change. I'll tell you the biggest change. Of course, there has been a popularity thing, and now
Yeah,
people know you because of that association they have with the show, with the character, and it feels nice, when
correct.
people want to connect with you and on that. But the major thing what happened, which I really liked and I'm happy about, is that there are certain choices which you take as an actor, and at times, and with these times right now, and the kind of people and the kind of actors we have, anybody who have not seen Roundtable, please go and see it. It's really a full of, it's a table full of talent. That's why I'm saying it. So so there are subtle approaches, there are certain real character approaches which you want to take,
Mm,
but there's at times they are so real that you also don't know if it's going to work.
mm,
So all those choices, and with a character like Sharad, they are so minute,
correct.
and everything was being etched out in your mind. So all those things, when the show was released, and everything, like from people, from critics to the fraternity industry and people, audience, everybody, when they talk about all those details and the kind of approach you have taken for your character and everything, it really feels nice. It gives you that validation that okay, the approach is correct. You
Right.
please continue to be on that approach. It really works. And so that was the biggest takeaway. And apart from that, yeah, I mean, people from the fraternity around, friends, and the audience, and they really loved it. So it has changed a few things in my mind. Thankfully, I have really good agents now, and who have a lot of good credibility in the fraternity, in the industry. It's a really nice people.
I'm
So
guessing on the street they recognize you, unless with the mask, maybe it's a little harder now. But I'm sure they recognize you on the street. Yeah.
they do, yeah, they do. And the first time, so when the show was released, we were in Goa
Uh-huh.
for just for 2 days, and we came back, and I mean that was the first time when I came back to Bombay, and the show had just released. Only it was 2 days, and obviously in the airport you are wearing your mask all through your flight and everything. But at one point when you're going through that security check, you just have to pull your mask down for just a second, and I just did it, and I kind of put it back, and I moved because he had to frisk you, and I just heard a voice, तो कहाँ ले गए अखंडा को? And that was a time, I just realized, okay, so it has kind of registered in people's mind.
Right.
And yeah, uske baad to whenever you are out and just for a second, and there's some people who actually can, I don't know how it happens. There's some people who can recognize you, or maybe they're trying to place you while your mask is still on.
Right.
And then
It's
I've
the
also
eyes.
done,
It's the eyes.
yeah, with the eyes, and फिर आपको थोड़ा हल्के से करना पड़ता है कि हाँ. Ah. So yeah, so all those things, there has been a change. The kind of things which are coming in right now, that is also, it's a
Yeah.
big milestone which starts happening with an actor, that you try and you start getting some good roles and the nice
Correct.
scripts and
The quality
things
of
you
the
really
work.
want to
Yeah.
do. So all that changes has happened, and I'm really thankful and happy.
A lot of people, Anjum, I think would see you in Mirzapur and say, "Who's this newcomer who's got this great part in Mirzapur?" And the truth is that you're not really a newcomer. You've actually worked your way to this place, haven't you? You've been
Yeah.
acting for 12 years. You had small roles in Slumdog Millionaire. You were in Once Upon a Time in Mumbai. You were in David, Wazir. Anjum, what did you learn over the years, of taking these small parts, of working towards getting noticed, landing better roles? What's been the learning over the years?
So when I started doing theater, I I just fell in love with theater. I was before I got into acting. I also was working as an assistant director for a very short time. But I always wanted to start acting, and when I started doing theater, I just fell in love with the whole craft and the whole thing of performing in front of the live audience. And I happened to work initially with such great actors like Kumud Mishra, Manav.
Yeah.
I worked in my first play with all of them. So it was a really nice thing. And obviously we have seen them in the past in whatever things, interesting things they have done. So there was and you are a newcomer. So it was a very fascinating moment for you. And also then while in the process of doing that play, you get to learn so many things. And later on when I started working a lot with another theater director, Makran Deshpande, there was a time when I could see there was a transition. Obviously, I was doing other things. Like I
Yeah.
was simultaneously Wazir happened. Oh, sorry, David happened because Bijoy came and saw a play of mine, and he wanted to cast me in one of the roles. And that role again, that was very interesting because okay, I was like, yeah, acha, theek hai, karte hain. And and he also the entire process he had for shooting that scene was okay, this is the scene, this is how I see it, and you are from theater, just tell me how he can design it, let's just improvise and do this and all that. So suddenly for me also it was like an extension.
Right.
This is what I've been doing on stage, and this is
Correct.
just an extension, and we are just working right now in front of the camera, so it was like an extension. And dheere dheere when I started working with Makrand, there was a time when my transition happened that performance and the life I'm living, they're not very segregated.
Hmm.
You are it's one, because the experiences you are having while working on a content, on a script, is actually very in sync with the experiences or the insight you have, the worldly insight you have while you are living your life, talking to somebody, being little observant and all that. So there was a time, I don't know how I can explain it to you, but it became one.
Right.
So it was not like, "Ki, acha, now today's the show, so I have to prepare like this and do that." No, obviously there is
Correct.
a craft, there is a skill which is
Yeah.
involved, but you're living your life, and then with that calmness, you are in sync with your performance, and your show starts or your performance starts.
I have to ask you before we go, Anjum, what can we expect in the new year?
Oh, well, I have been, as I said, there are quite a few narrations which has happened. I'm reading a few things. Probably next month there's something which I must lock,
Okay.
and there are certain things which have come and which are really interesting, but all of them are right now in writing stage.
Right.
So probably, but because the interest and the thing has kind of clicked right from the genesis, like
Correct.
the writer's mind or maybe the director's mind. So, and the concept is still being written, so it will kind of take some time, but I'm happy
Yeah.
about it, because what happens is I'm a firm believer of this aspect, that if a writer or a director, you're part of their genesis, then
Uh-huh.
probably you'll have a more better significant or a much more layered
Correct.
role which you can portray later, like it
Correct.
happened in Mirzapur too also.
Correct.
So all those things are going to happen in the second half of the year. But
Right.
before that, something I'm almost going to lock maybe in a month's time.
Okay. Well, all the best. Really, Anjum, I think I speak for everyone when I say really enjoyed your performance as Sharad. I think he emerged as a character that had so much depth, and although he is in a sense an anti-hero, I mean, you kind of you're invested in him because he's coming from a place of true hurt and love for his father, if you like. Can't wait to see really where that relationship goes between Akhanda and Sharad. Looking forward to seeing Mirzapur 3 when that happens. But whatever else you do next, here's wishing you a very exciting, successful new year. I think everyone's enjoyed Mirzapur and can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you very much and all the best. Thank you, Anjum.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. My pleasure.